All right, what up, guys? Welcome to the crew. I'm Coach T,
And I'm 99 overall.
and this is gonna be our weekly sports recap. We're gonna go back over our reactions to the NFC and AFC Championship games. Talk a little bit about the coaching carousel going on in the NFL, and preview of the Super Bowl matchup coming up in a couple weeks. And so Cole, what do you think? What do you think about? Let's start with the AFC Championship. Actually, let's start with the NFC. What's your take on that game?
Injuries. That's kind of the story of really the whole weekend, coming in and during the games. Really injuries kind of made this weekend. And it's kind of two things for me. It's the Eagles are just really good, top to bottom. And 49ers just ran out of luck. Everything they had going this season, they've had Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy, Josh
Johnson
played that game, and Christian McCaffrey was an emergency quarterback. And they've been on a crazy run, and it just kind of ran out on them. The fairy tale Brock Purdy, it just kind of hit an end. And supposedly he tore his UCL. I'll be out for, I believe, 6 months.
Oh my God, really?
That's a horrible injury for quarterback. I mean, that's like career ending for pitchers sometimes. So he's not a guy that had a whole lot of zip on the ball already. So that's going to be, you hope this wasn't just like a fairy tale run and he's, never going to be able to be a reliable player again. That would be horrible, but it wasn't.
Kind of sucks. It kind of brings the Niners back to what are we going to do this offseason?
Exactly. And that's the storyline, because I think everyone was thinking like, here we go with Brock Purdy, but this injury, this isn't just a bruised elbow. This isn't even a torn leg. This is his throwing shoulder. He couldn't even grip a football in that game because of that.
I mean, I don't know what Cam, I can't remember what Cam Newton did to his shoulder, but obviously you saw how much that affected his career after his MVP season and Super Bowl run.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, what do you do? That's a whole other, I think the 49ers are in a good spot. They have good problems, but also it's like, they don't know who their quarterback is. They still don't know. They're not closer to knowing now, than they were at the beginning of the season. I don't think they were convinced. Obviously they were going with Trey Lance, but I think they were just seeing what they had in Trey Lance. I remember when the season started, there was reports that he had a pretty short leash and he didn't like Jimmy Garoppolo still being on the team because of that kind of that pressure. But that was for the NFC. That was kind of, for me, that was the weekend. It was the injuries. I don't think they would have won anyways. I had the Eagles winning that game, but wasn't a very competitive game. The Eagles just kind of look like they're on a team of destiny. They look like the Eagles in 2016, 17. They just look like a team that is not going to be stopped.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That especially Jalen Hurts getting all of the criticism and people there's a lot of questionable things, and because a lot of people are comparing the Eagles to that 2015 Panthers team with Cam Newton. I mean, obviously the Eagles have their offensive line is unbelievable. Like I've never seen it off even early in the game. Like the Eagles offensive line was pushing the Niners D line back, the best D line in the league, creating holes like they were playing against a peewee team. Honestly, it was insane.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I didn't really expect them to be that dominant against the 49ers front four, but I mean, they're good. I mean, there's
only so much you can do defensively too when you can't keep the offense on the field, and you saw it was pretty much after the first or second drive the Niners were one-dimensional. They ran. I've never seen so many reverses ran in one game in an NFL game in my life. Debo was frustrated. You can tell. I think they all were, but Dude, that sucked. Like, it was honestly, that game sucked to watch.
That
And
was
you
a
really
nap.
feel,
Yeah,
do what?
that was a nap game. That was a game that you take a nap, Darren. I
Yeah,
mean,
it really was.
it, I don't know. It wasn't a very
And
good game.
I think what kept me into it too is I kept thinking that somehow Shanahan was going to find a way to game plan around it or find a way. I mean, Christian McCaffrey was changing his helmet to go in at quarterback, but
Yeah.
apparently Juszczyk was the emergency backup quarterback. So
Yeah, I
it's
thought,
like how far do you go? They were literally on their fourth string quarterback
yeah.
in the third series of the game.
I thought Juszczyk was the guy, but yeah, they went with McCaffrey, changed his helmet. I don't think it would have mattered who was the emergency quarterback. Josh Johnson had a couple plays right before he got a concussion that I was like, hold up now. Are we about to get the Josh Johnson most legendary, been on 15 team? This is like a 30 for 30. Like I can
Riding
just
off into
see
the
it.
sunset like Peyton Manning.
Yeah, just see it right now where it's like the 30 for 30 is like they're going through like how crazy this season was for the 49ers. And they're like, and that's when Josh Johnson came in and everything changed. And it's just like, this is his career arc. He's been on 15 teams.
I
And it's
know
like,
it's
this is
insane.
his moment. And the dude gets a concussion. That's the worst, man.
I know it's kind of hard to believe. Like, kind of like you can't believe it's not butter. Right when you think you
That's not
have
butter.
everything.
That is
Huh?
not butter.
Yes, it is. You can't believe it, can you?
I can't believe that.
It's butter. It's just when you think everything's going right, you have everything together, and you need that butter. Tell you what, you got it. So
I can't believe that's the video sponsor.
better believe
I
it.
can't believe that's butter, and I can't believe that's our sponsor.
Well, you're gonna be able to believe. That's all, folks. Yeah, man. Honestly, it sucks for Brock Purdy because, I mean, like Brock Purdy's a dog, and you may not ever see him even get to this point again because you don't even know how he's gonna be able to throw the ball after this.
Yeah, legitimately. I mean, he may never really be a starting quarterback again. I mean, that's kind of like worst case scenario, but yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, like I said, the game was kind of depressing in that sense. The Eagles just kind of, that roster is insane, but it's a young talent. They're paying their backfield, of running backs is being paid $4 million a year collectively. And it might be one of the most productive backfields in the entire league. Donovan Smith, Devontae Smith, their second best receiver, is on a rookie contract. I mean, it's all these. Jalen Hurts on a rookie contract. He's not a high draft pick, an ultra high draft pick. Like all the really important pieces are really cheap right now. And it's like, this is the window. This is really, really the window. They have a really good team. And like, I can't.
Yeah, not to mention they just paid AJ Brown. So they're already locked in with him for another 3 years?
Yeah, by the time that you need to pay Devontae Smith, that contract will be up and you can decide where you want to keep him or draft a replacement and just keep doing this cycle of, kind of cap manipulation, talent manipulation. And it's just, I don't know. There's not very many better ran franchises in the whole league. I mean, in the last decade, they're on the verge of winning 2 Super Bowls. And it's not like they have Brady. It's not like they have Mahomes. They have Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. And then, both those guys get benched. Then you got a second round or third round. I can't remember what Jalen Hurts is. I think a second round pick that comes in. He's real raw. And it's like, there's not a lot of teams. I mean, that's a really well-run franchise. The stability in the franchise, that you've had 2 different coaches, and you're going to win 2, on the verge of winning 2 Super Bowls in the last decade. I think they're second to none as an organization.
And not to mention what might have been the signing of the offseason, Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
He was absolutely like he hit it. I mean, for Carolina last year, I think he had 11 and a half sacks, but that was productive. Like he was getting 11 and a half sacks on the other side. Brian Burns had about 10 sacks, but you get him, Philly signs him this offseason, and he gives you, it's like 17 or 18 and a half sacks. That's an unbelievable season for a
Yeah,
guy you're not really paying that much.
yeah, Gardner Johnson, Darius Slay, which they had last year, but it's a loaded roster, man, top to bottom. They draft well. They're getting free agents. I don't think there's a better ran organization in the league, to be honest. The AFC, I mean, kind of switch over to the AFC now, which was a much better game. It's the rematch, right? What was your thoughts? I mean, these are the two best. I think everyone would say this is quarterback 1 and 2, as far as the league goes. It's the matchup you want over there as far as entertainment value.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think you and I touched on it a little bit last week, talking about, well, number one, the whole talk this week was who's the better quarterback in the NFL? Is it Joe Burrow, or is it Joe Burrow's league, or is it Patrick Mahomes' league? And I think you kind of saw who still owns the league on that side. But I mean, we thought Cincinnati was going to roll through them. We thought offensively Kansas City might be able to keep up a little bit, especially when you have an offense like that and you have Andy Reid over there calling the plays. But I mean, they came out, they were an Arrowhead, man. The whole Burrowhead thing got shut down real quick. I think we might have asked for a little. We thought it would have been a little more high scoring game, but defensively on Kansas City, they had so many players out, and dude, they showed up to play. They performed. They held Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase. They held that offense to 20 points with a banged up defense and a banged up secondary. They're missing their starting linebacker, and I think like 2 or 3 starters in the secondary. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, there was a play in the game. Joe Burrow threw an interception, and one rookie tipped a pass. The other one caught the tip. 2 rookies in the secondary. One tipped it, the other one caught it. So they were banged up. They were very young on the back end. Really good job. I mean, my takeaway from the game is if you did your top 3 quarterbacks in the league, you would go Pat Mahomes 1, 2, you would have Pat Mahomes on one leg, and 3, you would have Joe Burrow. I mean, he's incredible, man. If he were to retire right now, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
It's insane.
I love Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow might be one of the most accurate, if not the most accurate quarterback I've ever seen play football. He almost never misses. I mean, even one of his interceptions was a perfect throw. I mean, that bad decision, perfect throw. The other one was just a horrible decision. He threw it right to linebacker, but Pat Mahomes just makes really good quarterbacks look a lot closer to average. Like
I know. I think a big part of the game too was in those last 3 games. I think the Bengals did really well with managing and game planning against Travis Kelce. I think Travis Kelce finally had his little breakthrough, and so I mean, honestly, that could have been the difference offensively, as they were finally able to get him going. And Valdez-Scantling, oh my God, came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he was without everybody. I mean, he was without Tony, Juju, and who's their other guy? He was without 3 basically starting.
McCole?
He was without McCole. I mean, he was down to 3 healthy receivers, essentially. The rookie Sky Moore, Valdez-Scantling, and some last name Graham or something. I can't remember. Some 85. I've never seen in my life. And then Travis Kelce was a game time decision. He hurt his back in practice on Friday. I mean, there's no other quarterback that could have won that game with the weapons that he had. He's incredible. I mean, he didn't even have a run game. He managed to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think where the Chiefs did really well was they executed on with all 3 phases of the game. I mean, Sky Moore was huge in special teams, especially at the very end of the game when it came down to the wire, and had a big return. Obviously, the penalty at the end on Patrick Mahomes definitely helped, but
Yeah.
But without that big return from Sky Moore, like it may be going into overtime.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that the Bengals were still going to win that game all the way to that penalty. Um, I just felt like it was going to be too much to overcome. But it was a really entertaining game. I love games that are like 20-20, 23-20. It's like I would much prefer that over 42-45.
Yeah, I mean, definitely makes it entertaining though. Like, still think one of the best games I've ever watched play was the Bills Chiefs last year. But yeah, I agree. I mean it.
But that was a game. I mean, and now that's what I was going to get to. When it's 20-20, or if it's kind of 13-20, and it's like a lower scoring game. What's exciting is you never know when the big play is going to happen. What's the tide turning game? Play. With the Bills last year, it was a low scoring. I mean, there was 4 scores in the last like minute and a half of the game. It was like that was what was exciting. Is like you have this just they're just beating the heck out of each other all game, and then it's like they just explode all over each other's faces right there at the end of the game. It's just, that's what I don't know. Those are the type of games I like. If it's just freaking 6 plays and touchdown, kickoff, 6 plays and touchdown, it's just back and forth. It's like, okay, whoever has the ball last. And I don't know. I like those games where it's like, your team might be able to get a stop. And every possession, after halftime is huge because, it's 13-13 and, whatever. There was a game a couple years ago against the Chiefs and Rams as a regular season game that was like 51-46. You remember that game?
Yeah, with Jared Goff.
Yeah. I mean, it was a cool, fun game, but I would much prefer a 20-20, 23-20, finish type game.
Yeah, and I mean that penalty at the end of the game, like I feel for the kid, but dude, that's textbook. Like you can't do that. Like you can't do that. Why would you even? It's the end of the game. Why would you even touch? He's running out of bounds. Like I understand it's the heat of the moment. Like you're playing fast. The game is fast, but you got to be smart, man. But at the same time, like I know the game is emotional, but it's pretty jacked up the way he was treated afterwards too, especially walking back to the locker room.
By his own teammate. Yeah. I mean,
He's kind of like, you can't believe it. Like,
yeah,
kind of like you can't believe it's not butter spray. You kind of wish that he would have kept it to himself, but sometimes you just got to say it, but don't spray it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it within the house.
Yeah, that's a good point. And thank again to our sponsor. I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it.
Speaking of spray, I sprayed all over the screen when I saw that hit. I mean, the water in my mouth. That's what I mean. It just came out of my mouth when I saw that play. But no, if you watch the interview, I kind of understand his rationale. He was trying to hit Patrick Mahomes as hard as he could out of bounds. No, he was trying. He was trying to get Patrick Mahomes going backwards so that the clock kept running. Because if you go out of bounds, I think lateral or backwards, the clock keeps running. I get that, but you still got to be smart.
Did he mention that?
He did. That was his. That's why his pursuit was the way it was, and why he was committed so hard. And he said, I just lost track of where I was on the field. But you kind of got to recognize that doesn't really work when they're going to give the runner the benefit of the doubt. If you just knock the shit at him and he goes backwards out of bounds, they're still going to stop the clock. Where they don't give you the benefit of the doubt is where, like it happened in the Dallas game, in the playoff game, where their tight end makes no effort to go upfield. So when he gets hit, he takes a step out of bounds backwards. And it's like, well, you weren't trying to go upfield and out of bounds. So I understand what he was saying, but it's like, you still got to be a little smarter than that.
Did you see his knee buckle like a loose noodle? Dude,
Yeah.
that was the first thing I noticed. I kind of looked away from the TV when I saw it because it looked gross. And
Yeah.
I don't even think I realized it was even a penalty until a few seconds after. And I saw him crying and it's like, dang, I know that hurt. Then I realized, oh, he might have cost him the game with that penalty.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. Not only does your team hate you, but they're not even going to help you get up because you just tore your ACL. So it's like you tore your ACL and you have to limp back to the sideline because everyone hates you. Yeah, that's the worst scenario. I thought the weekend was I liked it. The playoffs have been, I thought they were going to be like, I don't know. I just felt like this might be the best playoff, just both sides. I just really liked the way that it was shaking out. And then the last couple of weekends have been, besides the game, the AFC Championship, it's kind of anticlimactic. I mean, the Eagles have rolled through everybody, hasn't been competitive. The Bengals have basically rolled through everybody. I mean, they had a tough game against the Ravens, but nobody really thought they were going to lose that game. I don't know. I kind of felt like it might be, the playoffs might be a little bit crazier. I thought we were going to get a lot more of that type of game. The AFC Championship. I thought we were going to get that a lot more throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, but honestly, I can't complain with the Super Bowl matchup though. I mean, you got to hope that the Chiefs get a little more healthy and they're able to show up. But dude, I can't, like, Patrick Mahomes just showing you over and over again that you can't, him and Andy Reid, you can't doubt him. Yeah. Which also, it brings up another storyline. Andy Reid and the Eagles. Andy Reid of the old versus Andy Reid of the new.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Ultimate revenge, huh? I mean, he took the Eagles to 5 NFC Championship games and then ends up getting fired. Yeah, it's ultimate revenge here. This is like the cherry on top of his career would be to beat the Eagles. I think he's not gonna say it, but
and not to mention Travis and Jason Kelce. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, who's gonna be the loved son after the Super Bowl? Who's gonna be the disowned one? Who's gonna be the loved one?
Could you imagine though, being like growing up, talking about being in the NFL, winning a Super Bowl? Like, it's a dream that every kid that watches football talks about, whether you end up going to play college ball or you end up joining the military because you're not a very good athlete at all when you thought you probably were. You kind of kept your dreams alive, but then you realize you probably ran like a 5 flat, if that. You couldn't even make it into a D3 college, let alone make it on a team on NCAA 14. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about brothers coming up and being able to play each other in the Super Bowl. But no, that's cool, man. It's insane. I think even though the Chiefs are beat up and the Eagles are stacked on both sides of the ball, especially up front. Like, up front offensively, the Eagles probably have the best offensive line in the league, and then defensively have the Hassan Reddick and the rookie Davis out of Georgia plugging holes, absolute monster. But then at the same time, you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid to have to worry about. Now, I don't know if the Chiefs will be able to stop the Eagles defensively, but the creativity of Andy Reid giving Patrick Mahomes 2 weeks to rest on that ankle, I think it's gonna be a better game than what maybe some people think, just because of how beat up the Chiefs are.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good game, and it kind of gets us onto that next talking point. Is you look at the coaches in this game, and they're both really good coaches. Andy Reid has been doing it for forever. Sirianni, in his second year, he's basically just, with a healthy quarterback, he's basically lost 1 game this year. I mean, they lost 3 games, but 2 of them, was without hurt. So he's just been running through the league, and kind of brings you to, everybody wants a coach like that. Everybody wants a Sirianni. Everybody wants a Andy Reid. And I don't know what's happening with the coaching like carousel this year. I thought it was really weird. I feel like it's a slow time. I mean, there's been one team hire a head coach, the Panthers. They hired Frank Reich.
Don't get me started.
The Texans haven't filled their position. Broncos haven't filled their position. The Cardinals haven't filled their position. The Colts have not filled their position. They've had multiple interviews, second interviews. Seems like everybody's waiting for Sean Payton because you need one of these blue chip coaches. You need a blue chip coach to get to that level, and it's kind of it's been on display. There's a lot of young coaches that are being very successful. And then you have the mix of experienced coaches like Andy Reid, Belichick, of course, very successful. Sean Payton's always been successful. But what is the holdup? I think everyone's kind of afraid to get out of the Sean Payton sweepstakes, for one. And they're hoping to, it seems like everybody's going after the same guy, the same young offensive guy, whoever that might be. Kellen Moore had several interviews for head coaching vacancies. He had some with the Panthers. Then he gets fired as offensive coordinator. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the carousel. How do you think it's going to shake out? Where do you think the pieces are going to drop? Do you think it's a waiting game for Sean Payton? Do you think it's a waiting game for after the Super Bowl to try to collect some of the Super Bowl winning coordinators?
Yeah, I mean, it could be, and at the same time, like you have guys like D'Amico Ryan who just obviously just got done with his season, and I'm sure he's taking interviews, and at the same time though, I mean, it's a long season. He may be taking a few days off, maybe taking a little bit to sit back and think about what he actually wants to do. I mean, it's hard to turn down a head coaching job, but same time, a lot of these guys may be just waiting for the right opportunity for them, kind of like there's been a few guys that I feel like I've had opportunities in the past, like old dude at the Raiders, what's his name, McDaniel. He had plenty of opportunities, and I think he sat back behind Belichick, and he waited years, and I think he took the opportunity he wanted. And I don't know, man, it's kind of hard because I went off on our page about what I thought about Frank Reich, and but really at the same time, when I think about it, something we mentioned is, one, he's an offensive mind, so that's something I was able to get behind. And D'Amico Ryan's like, he's an awesome defensive coordinator, but it's an offensive ran league. Like,
Yeah.
who's the last defensive head coach to win a Super Bowl other than Belichick making it for the last 20 years, and Mike Tomlin doing it for 2010.
Yeah, there's not many. I mean, I can't even think of any, to be honest. It's Sean McDermott was the only, division round. He was the only one that was a defensive minded coach, and saw how that turned out. His defense got torched. His offense couldn't get a first down. So it's an offensive driven league, and hopefully this time next week when we do our weekly recap, we're talking about head coach hirings, because I've never seen it kind of drag out like this, where I really just think everyone's kind of after the same guy, and everyone else is going to end up just kind of scooping up the crumbs. I mean, is Jeff Saturday really going to be the head coach of the Colts? He's had 2 interviews.
No, I mean, I don't think so. He came off. I think he won his first game as coach, and kind of got everyone excited. And then he wins one game the next 10, 11 games. And I think something else to look at is offensive coordinators that people are going to pick up. Like, I think Joe Brady's going to have a chance to get a spot somewhere that looks pretty, with maybe a young quarterback that he gets to develop himself, somewhere like Indy. You never know. Like Indy may hire someone like D'Amico Ryan and end up taking a guy like Joe Brady to run the offense. Let him develop a young quarterback that they may be able to get, that they're going to get in the first round. And I don't know, man. Like, you're right. Like, it's crazy that it's taken this long to see four teams waiting to find their head coach. Like, there's still 4 vacancy spots open. I mean, John Harbaugh already said that, or Jim Harbaugh. Which one is it?
Jim's at Michigan. Is that what you're talking about?
Jim, yeah. Well, he just I read a report from Adam Schefter saying that he's officially staying at Michigan. I know he announced it a while back, but I think there's still a couple questions behind, is he staying, or Is he still going to look at different opportunities? But he's out of it now. He said he's staying. He's happy where he is, and he can't push the happiness. So he's out of it. I can see Denver. I think Denver is gonna. I've seen a lot lately about Denver taking or gonna have the opportunity to get Sean Payton, and I don't know why Sean Payton wouldn't want that. I mean, yeah, Russell Wilson was not good at all last year, but I don't think that's the end of Russell Wilson's career. Like, I still think he's got a lot left in him, and a lot more than what we saw this past season. And that's a very, very talented offense. I mean, you have Javonte Williams coming back off the ACL tear. Hopefully he comes back and he's able to perform like he was. Then you still have Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, Hamlin. That's a stacked offense. That's a winning offense right there. Like, you can't really ask for much more. If you can get Russell Wilson going, I think, and you could, at the end of the season, you saw that all those guys are still behind him too. So I mean, if it were my guess, I think Sean Payton's going to end up at Denver. Indy, I don't know. Like, Steve Wilkes may have another chance to get a coaching job somewhere. I mean, he almost got Carolina back in the playoffs.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job with Carolina. Here, I'm going to float something out to you, and this is kind of my conspiracy theory. I think the world of sports is changing. I mean, you can't be good; you have to be great. Basketball teams, their rosters turn over like crazy because you can't be satisfied with being good. You got to win championships. Same way with football. We've seen it with the Texans for 2 years now. They hire a coach. He goes through 1 year, looks like he's trying to build something. He gets fired, hired another one. Last year, Lovie Smith, 1 year, fired. I think teams are either going to get the guy they want. They're going to get the Sean Payton, or they're going to get the Jim Harbaugh, or they're going to get a bridge coach. And I don't think this has ever been a term ever used. You got bridge players. They're going to get a bridge coach, and they're waiting on the Jim Harbaughs to come out of college. They're waiting on the Lincoln Rileys. If you think Lincoln Riley is not going to be an NFL head coach one day, you're wrong. He is 100% going to jump ship and go to the NFL one day. If Dallas were to offer him a job next year, if they were to get rid of McCarthy, I would almost bet a paycheck that he would take that job. It's his, he's more flashy. He's more, that's him. He's the star type of guy. So not to go down that rabbit hole, but I think we're about to hit that. I think that's where teams are at. They're either going to get the blue chip coach, or they're going to figure out, just bring in Jeff Saturday. If he's bad, get rid of him, try Jim Harbaugh again. If he's bad, whatever, try Lincoln Riley. Try one of the blue chip guys either coming from college or that may find their way, back, the NFL coaches that may find their way back into the vacancy slot. So I think that might be a thing. I really do. I think that teams are kind of weighing those options. Why go give a huge contract to, we just see it fail too much. Why go give a huge contract to Steve Wilkes, and then next year we miss out on getting Jim Harbaugh, who we think is a better coach? Why miss out on the better coach that we think may come available under different circumstances? We just do bridge coach. And I feel like coaches Nathaniel Hackett had 13 games with the Broncos. They said, well, he's not good enough. We're not even going to give him another try. We're going to go, Sean Payton's out there. We're going to go get him. Urban Meyer, dude had 10 games, 11 games. Said he's just not the guy. We're going to go get Doug Peterson, blue chip guy, Super Bowl winning head coach. So that's my theory on it. That's why I think it's taking so long.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. I mean, and another way to look at it is kind of like what I was talking about, was you have a guy like Joe Brady. Obviously, he's not a guy we're even talking about being a head coach anywhere, but like, the Colts can hire a guy like Joe Brady, that he's gonna get that young quarterback out of the draft. But he has a little bit of talent on the offensive side. Defensively, they're not bad at all. And then they may hire, let's say, a Jeff Saturday again, or maybe a Steve Wilkes for something small, maybe a one. I don't know. But like you said, and then you kind of see if Joe Brady shows something promising that year, like he shows that he can run the offense, and he maybe show that he can be successful as a coach, then maybe it goes that route. you kind of like you just said, you pay a guy to be your offensive coordinator versus being your head coach, and you're still kind of getting the same thing. You kind of know what your offense is going to look like. It's an offensive ran league.
Well,
But
even think of Chip Kelly. He's starting to get a lot of traction again at UCLA. What if UCLA wins the Pac-12? People are going to be on the Chip Kelly bandwagon. He might jump ship. So it's like I think teams now think about even head coach vacancies. Who's going to be available next year? Which is kind of weird because usually you want to get your guy and then, okay, I'm done with that. I got a head coach. Now I'm going to try to build this roster. So it's a weird landscape, man. It's really unique. It's something I haven't really seen. That's kind of what we're talking about. We haven't really seen it in the NFL like it is this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting, man. But like you said, it may be one of those things we won't see until after the Super Bowl is over. Because like those teams may be waiting on they may be waiting on someone from Philly or Kansas City. And actually, did you see that Kellen Moore actually he actually just got a job. He's gonna work with the quarterbacks in LA with the Chargers. Yeah.
It's just weird. Like he was getting head coaching interviews and he's kind of fallen from grace. But that's not the only thing going on. Sport. Football is right at the pinnacle. It's at its peak, but we still got basketball. We still got NBA basketball, and it's about to heat up, especially after the Super Bowl. Did you watch the Lakers and Celtics game this last couple days ago?
Yeah. Talk about the missed call.
Well, you're a LeBron. Are you a LeBron fan?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think he gets the whistle I don't even think he gets the whistle that other superstars in the league right now get, but I don't think he gets the whistle that all-time greats get. I mean, you've seen it's on Twitter and the clip of the ref going up to Michael Jordan after a foul call. He goes, "I didn't see it, Michael, but I believe you. I believe you, Michael." Yeah. I'm sorry, Michael, I didn't see it. It's like, I don't think LeBron gets that. He don't get that. I mean, that was right dead eye in front of the ref. And it's an obvious foul. It's probably audible foul. Like you probably heard that. Like not only saw it, but heard it. I mean, it was an obvious foul.
Yeah, it's bad. And it's the funny thing is this is like the second or third time it's happened in the past 2 weeks to LeBron, to the Lakers.
Yes. He doesn't get I don't know the stats off the top of my head. We'll probably put out a short later kind of breaking down his free throw numbers compared to other greats. But I mean, James Harden was averaging like 11 or 12 free throws a game a couple of years ago. For years, Joel Embiid averages double-digit free throws a game. Yeah, I really think this is a testament to how great LeBron is, especially in his prime all the way till now. I don't really think he's got that superstar whistle like some others have, but it's because I really think that they come together as a league office and say, he will average 40 points. He will average 42 points a game. If we give him the whistle that we give Jordan, he's going to score 40, 42 a game. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's true. Or is it the league saying they're sick of his bullshit and tired of seeing him win? Because you know who is getting the whistle? Luka.
Yeah, Luka's
been getting every whistle he wants.
Yeah, he gets a lot of whistles, and it's because he's white. No, it's because it's weird. I mean, I don't think LeBron is. I mean, I don't think Luka is like the most likable guy. I mean, he almost cries every single basketball game. He just bitches so much at the ref. But I don't think LeBron is as liked or as likable as Jordan was. Like, I think people love Jordan. I think so. There's still a human factor. You're the ref, you get on the court, you may be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. At the same time, though, man, it's also, the game has also changed so much. Like, LeBron got a lot of heat early in his career. I mean, even now, for crybaby LeBron is what everyone liked to call him, or it's how everyone referred to him, saying he does nothing but cry. And I mean, that probably resonates throughout the whole league and with the refs too. And the refs probably think we're tired of giving him the calls that he feels like he deserves. But when he should probably be getting the calls anyways. And I don't know, man. I mean, and at the same time, there may be no theory behind it. It's just the fact that it was an awful call. It was an awful no call. But I mean, it just that one sucks even worse because that one did go into overtime because of that missed call. It's not like it's not like he was trying to score from behind. I mean, regardless, that situation sucks. But it's the fact that it had to go into overtime at that point. It shouldn't have even had to go into overtime.
Yeah.
And it's even if as an official on the floor, you know that when LeBron gets that close to the rim, he's not going to miss that. He's not going to airball that layup or just throw it off the backboard. Like it's either being thrown down with as much force as possible, or it's going to be an easy layup. So it's like, how do you even look at that play? And as an official, how do you look at that play in real time and think, nah, like he got all ball.
Well, I know there's going to be people in the comments, or there's going to be people say, well, LeBron gets every call. Well, remember in 2012 when he fouled such and such and they didn't call it, and he gets every call, and it's LeBron James is a quarterback.
I can't stand that for LeBron gets every call. And he it's about his time. He's like 90. He can't get every call for the rest of his life.
And I get it. Like you're probably can give me 10 different cases where he got a call or didn't, get called for a foul. But what I'm saying is superstars get crazy whistles. Luka gets crazy whistles. James Harden used to get crazy whistles. Joel Embiid gets crazy whistles. Kobe, Jordan,
Steph.
Shaq didn't. I think he falls in the Shaq category where it's like he's just too dominant. He'll be on the field on every play. But my argument isn't the fact that, okay, it's happened. I'm sure he gets a lot of calls, but he doesn't get superstar whistle. He really doesn't. He gets good player whistle.
I agree.
He gets aggressive player whistle.
He does. And it's like, and that's a, you can make an argument out of that because maybe that's why he does bitch a lot, because he doesn't get the whistle. Like he doesn't get the superstar whistle. That's why he's always complaining, because he is getting fouled. Like I understand you can't call every single foul. If you call every single foul, the game is going to be 4 or 5 hours long.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, like you said, like superstar whistle.
Yeah, he doesn't get superstar whistle. Am I a little blurry? Hold on. There we go. Yeah, he doesn't.
I'm a little drunk, but I think it's the camera.
You know what else I can't believe?
That I have 2 products if I can't believe it's not butter.
That it becomes a spray and a paste. Is it a paste?
It's a spray.
What's the other one? Would you call that a paste? A cream? What's the consistency?
That's
not butter.
It's, you know what? I don't believe it's not butter. I think.
I can't. Oh God!
I'm throwing that out. I can believe it. I believe that's butter. Hey, 60% less fat though. Skinny queen season. Skinny Coach T.
I can't believe it's not butter. We didn't mean to. As a sponsor, we think it's delicious.
It's just I spit it out because I was lost for words and I just couldn't believe that it.
Yeah. What is that consistency? Is it an ointment? Does that fall under ointment or paste or cream? Because it's not a liquid. It's not a spray. What would you call that? What would you call butter consistency? Is it a cream? Is it a paste? Is it an ointment?
Is it a jelly?
Is it a jelly?
Is it a jelly?
Is it a pastry?
I don't know. Could you mix it in a drink?
You can. Some people put butter in their, if you can believe this, I can't believe it's not butter, in their coffee.
I can't believe it's not coffee butter.
Coffee butter. A stick of coffee ointment butter. That sounds
That's a
right.
good question, though. I don't know. That's something we can ask the viewers. Can you believe it's not butter? And if you can, what the hell is it?
What
I have butter all over my finger now, and I just don't know what to do with it.
Shelby?
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
you know that Boo thing is doing the Super Bowl halftime show.
Riri,
That
my
Boo-
honey.
She has not released a song in 17 years, and she's doing the halftime show. I haven't seen that she's announced who's going to be on it. Who do you think? Who do you think rounds out her show?
Um,
I'm
I don't know. I
praying.
mean, she's pretty tough, man. Like maybe Chris Brown. I mean, she's proven she could take a hit before. I don't know why she could take another one.
Just back hits up there. Is that what you're saying? Get Chris Brown to have back to back hits.
I think she opens up with Umbrella, and she closes with Umbrella.
She opens with Rude Boy and gets us all bricked up.
This gets knocked out by Chris Brown. Super rude of him. And then I don't know.
I
That
think
can
she
go
goes,
anywhere.
I think if she had 5 songs, she goes Rude Boy, Work, Umbrella.
Take Care. Ooh, she bring out Drake?
She might do what's her song on Take Care? Is it Take Care?
Was she not on Take Care? The song
She
Take
was.
Care?
Yeah, but what song? The
Take
song
Care.
Take Care?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought you meant the album.
No.
So she probably does Take Care and brings out Drake. We just uncovered Drake's gonna be.
Ooh, no, even better. ASAP Rocky.
Do they have a song together?
She's having ASAP's kid. She's had ASAP's kid.
I know, but like I feel like she's gonna bring out because that's how it always usually sets up, right? It's like she goes to Umbrella and Jay-Z comes out, and because he's on that song, and then she does Take Care.
Ooh, maybe Tom Holland popping out with Zendaya to do a dance. Have you seen that video on lip sync battle?
No, what is it?
We'll add that. We'll add that to the cut. Oh, it's good. A lot of people think that's when Zendaya fell in love. So I think I did too. It's good though. But yeah, so we have.
She definitely does Work. She definitely does Umbrella. I think she does Rude Boy.
Rude Boy to bring us back a little bit.
Yeah. Come on.
I don't know. That's a.
She's not gonna do Bitch Better Have My Money.
Ooh, maybe Shy Ronnie from SNL. You never watched Shy Ronnie, did you?
I don't know who that is.
We'll add that in there too.
Yeah. So I think Drake, there's a huge possibility Drake shows up. Jay-Z shows up is another possibility. You got ASAP. I'd be surprised if ASAP Rocky shows up, to be honest. That's my hot take. I think you got Jay-Z. I think you have Drake.
Ooh, We Found Love with Calvin Harris.
Calvin Harris might show up, to be honest. He might just be on it just because he does the DJ for every song.
I think I got it. She brings out Jay-Z with Umbrella. And then towards the end, she brings out Eminem.
Yeah, love the way you lie. I thought that, but he's gonna do back-to-back halftime shows.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? I mean, he might. I mean, I don't think he's opposed to it, but it's like
she's definitely not going to bring out Kanye for Run This Town.
Run This Town. I forgot that song actually kind of fits, like a sports. She's not bringing out Kanye. Yeah, that's not happening. Does she have a song?
SOS. SOS is actually a classic.
Yeah. She had a song with Beyonce? Well, Beyonce did one a couple years ago, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only other one I could think of is Wild Thoughts with DJ Khaled and Bryson Tiller. It's like these are songs that she can do and not have to bring these artists out.
I know, but it's always a good, time.
It's a good thing to think about.
I think, if I were to give my 3, I think she brings out Jay-Z, Drake, and Calvin Harris.
Disturbia.
Disturbia. I mean, she's got some bops, dude, but she hasn't made a song in a long time.
Or S&M, trying to get us turned on a little bit, get us a little frisky, just in case it's a shitty Super Bowl.
Bro, she could
Get us kind of
sing.
going.
She could sing "Mary Had a Little Lamb," and would get me bricked up, brother.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been bricked up this whole episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that butter, bud.
You had me at Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Speaking of Joe Burrow, it just came out that he's dating that gymnast from LSU, the 20-year-old. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
She's I mean she's very hot, but Livy Dunn.
Livy
Livy with V's. Livvy.
Yeah.
You ain't got no L about you, Livy. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think it's the Super Bowl, the halftime show could be just as good or better than the Super Bowl.
It always is. I mean, obviously I watched the game, but like when Coldplay did the halftime show, that was like the worst time of my life. That 30 minutes of hearing Coldplay sing the most boring songs. I was like, dude, who wants to? And I remember like one of the first ones I remember like just being like really into the game, like really into it and like watched it. I didn't go away from TV. So I watched the halftime show was when the Who did the halftime show and they were all 60. And they got out there and I was like, dude, this sucks.
Yeah.
This is horrible. Who was another bad one? Like all-time bad one. I thought Justin Timberlake was pretty dope. He did all right. I thought was it
Ooh, the comments are gonna hate this one. Creed.
Creed? Did Creed do that halftime show?
I think it was Creed.
I know there's a video of Creed doing a halftime show at a Dallas game.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
The actually the one the Weeknd did, I thought was cool. Other than the fact it made me feel like I was having a stroke.
Yeah.
Kind of threw me all over the place. And the whole dynamic of him faking his plastic surgery thing kind of threw me off too. That one was pretty good though.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought Shakira and J-Lo was pretty good.
Anything with Shakira and J-Lo is gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
It's like watching a strip club show on. It's like watching dancers at halftime.
Hot take: did Tanner just call Shakira and J-Lo strippers? Sheesh. He just got canceled, buddy.
Well, you know what, bud? They're two beautiful women that.
No, I don't know.
I'm gonna end it on that one. You're right.
I know what you're saying. They're two beautiful women that you would pay to see get naked, and you would apply your butter ointment.
Yes, I would. Oh God.
Okay, we're going off the rails.
All right.
Everybody,
all right.
Thanks for watching. This was The Crew. This is our weekly recap where we talk about everything that was important that happened in the sports world this last week. My name is 99 overall.
His name is actually Cole, and I'm Coach T. And tune into our Madden journey.
Join the Madden journey, and we'll be dropping new segments that we record on the middle of each week. So there's going to be more content coming out in the future. Thank you guys.